Kevin, wanted to bring in this part of this topic because for as much as everyone's talking about Patrick Queen, I feel like the player that Ravens fans really don't want to see leave because of the value of the position, so to speak. Justin Madubuike balled out. The dude was a wrecking ball. I mean, how realistic is it that they can hold on to Justin Madubuike? But it seems if they keep Madubuike, let me rephrase that. If they keep Madubuike, they are most certainly going to have to let a guy like Patrick Queen go.
Yeah, I think the only realistic way, and it's not even that realistic, honestly, is if you tag one of those guys and then work out some sort of a team-friendly extension. But neither of those guys are going to take a team-friendly extension because they have both earned lucrative contracts. And when you look at the franchise tag, there are a couple of different conversations that go into that. My personal opinion is Justin Madubuike, if he signs either a deal with the Ravens or a team with somebody else, he's probably going to clear upwards of $25 million annually. I just think he played that well. Now, the franchise tag for defensive tackles this year is 20.9. That's the projected. 20.9 million is the projected total. Does Justin Madubuike play on that 1-year deal and essentially re-enter the free agent pool next offseason when there's a chance that, look, this was an incredible year, one of the all-time years that we've seen from an interior pass rusher on the Ravens? Is there a chance he maybe takes a step back from a statistical perspective, or does he get injured? And if that happens, is his value going to be as high next season on the open market coming off of the franchise tag? So does he say, I don't want to play on the franchise tag because this is my opportunity to cash in? The only way that, I'm going to cash in on this season, this year, is to do it this offseason. With Patrick Queen, it's the same conversation with the franchise tag. If the Ravens decide to go there, the projected number for linebackers is $22.8 million. I think for Patrick Queen, that's maybe a little less than I expect him to get annually. But if the Ravens franchise tag him, it's almost the conversation that you talked about J.K. Dobbins a little bit there. If Patrick Queen gets franchised and gets injured, he said he has to do what's best for him. Long-term and financial stability with that. Long-term financial stability is what these players, I think that's the ideal goal for them, is to get on a 4-year deal, a 5-year deal. And if they get injured in one of those years, it's all right because they still have that financial flexibility where if on a franchise tag, there's a catastrophic injury, that's going to tank their value. Much like, look, we've seen J.K. Dobbins. We know the talent he is, but he's been injured. And that has essentially made his value, is he even going to come back to the Ravens on a cheaper deal? He's not going to get what he wanted in free agency because he has been injured. So with the Ravens and their free agents, I'll go through it. Madubuike, Queen, Geno Stone, Clowney, Van Noy, Kevin Zeitler, Odell Beckham Jr., Gus Edwards, Ronald Darby, Dobbins, Arthur Millette, Nelson Aguilar, Tyler Huntley, Brent Urban are just some of the names that the Ravens have.
Thank God. I thought we were going to have a lot or something.
Can you repeat that list, Kevin, at the speed you just said it at?
I was
not looking at it now.
You were flying.
No. Yeah, I was flying through it. But the Ravens, then this depends on the Odell deal because the Ravens restructured that. They have that hard deadline, or else it's a $50 million cap hit for him, which I don't think the Ravens really want. So that's their hard decision. That's the reason they did it. But the Ravens do have options to clear up cap room. Right now, it's right around anywhere from like 13 to 15 million that they have right now, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously, this is before restructures and before maybe some cap casualties. Ronnie Stanley, you can free up about 9 million with a 17 million dead cap hit if you decide to go through there. Tyus Bowser, you can clear up about 5.5 million. Morgan Moses, about 5 million. So you can go through a bunch of these names, but there will be avenues for the Ravens to clear up cap room for them to bring back some of those guys. And maybe guys like Jadeveon Clowney say, you know what? I made a lot of money in my career. I want to win a Super Bowl. I'm going to come back to the Ravens because that's the shot that I have. And I know I'm familiar with the system. And maybe the Ravens will get some guys on veteran minimum or close to it deals because they understand the opportunity to win and they want to finish the business.
Yeah. And I think that to your point, there's so many different variables. That's why I wanted to touch on it quickly because of all that, the ones that are going to take the most money is going to be Madubuike, Patrick Queen, because of where they are at their age and trying to cash in. But who knows down the stretch? Because as we've seen, it wasn't just those players. They had sensational years. It's multiple players. If you look at that Ravens defense, so many players attributed to that success. But you want to keep the guys that you really want to if you can. But that's the name of the business.
We need to save Dr. Smelling Salts at all costs. It's Brent Urban.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah.